Hello and welcome back. I know it's been a minute since I've last uploaded, but that's just the way the dice have rolled. But let's get into this. Mr. Caffrey, I'm gonna be honest, you really stumped me here. I had to look up what a human interest story was by definition. I had to look up examples of a human interest story and all of that good stuff. But finally, I was able to get it done. I was able to come up with a topic and just write and write and write about it. So, and I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully, this is a decent enough message. But let me tell you guys what the prompt is. The prompt is, or was to pick a human interest story of our choice. And we could either write an article, AP style article, or we can do the podcast version. And you guys know I love podcasting. It's my passion. Just kidding. But I do love jumping in front of the camera and getting to talk. It's fun. But let's get into this. So, I was scrolling through Twitter as I do most days when a story that I thought could gain some traction fell into my lap. Or not necessarily into my lap, but it was just right there. So I was scrolling, and Michael Curry, he's a minor league baseball player for the San Diego Padres. He had posted a TikTok of his W-2 from the San Diego Padres affiliate team, and he had only made just over $11,000. I think the correct amount is $11,196.42. And that was accumulated over a 150 game season. So I could see that didn't look right. That looked very, very low. So I just thought, why why aren't more people talking about the, I don't know if this is a term, unlivable wages minor league baseball players are faced with? So that is the topic of this blog or YouTube video, whatever you want to call it. My human interest story is the minor league baseball players not earning a livable wage. And we're going to talk about that. So let's get into it. Michael Curry accumulated $11,000, a little over $11,000, in a 150 game season, just about. So by doing a little math, we can see that he only made about $75 per game, which is not terrible because you're getting paid to play a game. I know a lot of people that would love to do that, myself included. But anyways, imagine you have worked countless hours perfecting this craft, and you've been working on this skill since you were a child. You finally get the opportunity to prove yourself and prove that you have the ability to obtain this dream job. But before you get it, you have to prove to your boss or whatever that you are up for the challenge. You have to be able to show them that you are okay with $75 per shift, that you are okay with sleeping 7 people to a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment, or eating fast food every night, not getting that nutritional value. And then you're still expected to be performing at your highest ability the next day after not getting any of this nutritional value. And there's no deadline on when, or there's no due date, I would say, on when you get called up, on when you get promoted to this dream job. But just know, you're in the league, so there could be a chance you get there. But I feel like a lot of people, if we take this out of baseball terms, a lot of people in real life would be like, what the hell kind of job offer is that? That doesn't sound like anything I would want to do. And I would agree. Why would you want to spend countless hours working on a profitable skill just to not make any profit off of it? Like $75 a day, if that, you could probably spend that, about half of that, at a fast food restaurant or just a restaurant in general. Like a lot of these players, going back into baseball terms, sorry, a lot of these players have to be able to afford, off-season housing and off-season food and training and all these other things that do cost a lot of money. And I think we need to talk about the reason. The reason is, or the reason I think it is, and a reason a lot of people on Twitter think that just happens to be my main source today. Breaking sources say. But anyways, a lot of people are saying it is the owner's fault. And I have been seeing for years and years and years that MLB players, Major League Baseball players, have been calling the owners of these MLB teams out for not allocating the funds to the minor league organizations, to the lower level organizations. You know, they would rather give $500 million to one player over the course of a couple of years than invest that money and give it to their minor league affiliated organizations and get the proper equipment and housing and training and, you know, just build something that minor league baseball is supposed to be. You know, it's supposed to be a developmental league, so you would think your boss would want to treat you as good as possible, you know, supply good housing where preferably you get your own bed that's not a mattress, blown up mattress in a hallway or something. Or you would expect to be getting more than one meal a day with some nutritional value, we'd hope. But I've seen a lot of complaints about the MLB owners not being the ones to give this money out, even though they have plenty of it. You know, I imagine that MLB owners make more than I will ever see in my lifetime, probably more than my family will ever see in their lifetimes. And what do they do with it? They're kind of just sitting on it, kind of blowing it. They genuinely could be giving it to their lowest level organization and have them build up and have them supply something for their players that doesn't allow them to get hurt or allows them to continue developing the way they should be and not in the way that will most likely result in them getting hurt or retiring or, you know, having to quit because they can't afford to all these things we've talked about. You know, there's a lot going on in minor league baseball, and I feel like it is worth paying attention to. I feel like MLB, hold on, scratch MLB. I feel like from a fan's perspective, it's very easy to want to blame players and be like, you know, they get paid to play a game, which I said earlier. But we do have to think like it is the owners with billions and billions and billions of dollars that have like the platform and have the funds to supply these changes to the minor leagues, but they don't because they are more interested in showing off the big marquee players and showing off like, oh, I have millions and billions of dollars because these two players play on my team that I just happened to buy a billion years ago, you know? I think the fans need to hold the owners a little more accountable, and I think we need to be more player friendly and more on the player side. Because in reality, it's not just like a rich versus rich thing, it's a workers versus owners thing, or workers versus managerial things, you know? Like, I don't know, I just feel like it plays into so many other things. Like, something I've seen a lot is the argument of inflation in the minor leagues, because I've seen on Twitter, I know, that a lot of these older players that are like 50 and 60 years old, I know they shouldn't even be on Twitter, but they're posting that like these younger guys are soft because, you know, they got paid the same amount back in the 80s to do the same exact thing, and their generation was harder and blah 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 BS that no one cares about. But in reality is the price of rent, I'm just going to throw numbers out because I know they're not true, but it helps my argument. I feel like the price of rent was probably like a lot lower, probably like $200 back in the 80s, you know, and rent is often like $1,000 or more per property here in New Mexico at least. But yeah, So inflation, crazy stuff. But yeah, that is the majority of what I wanted to say. I think that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, Mr. Caffrey, I appreciate this prompt. I always appreciate a time to speak about baseball. And yeah, I see I went over 10 minutes, so I need to shut up. But appreciate it, guys. I will see you guys next time.